Yo, 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 what is up, YouTube? Playing some Clio today for the A through Z series, and we're against a Freya. I don't know how I feel about this matchup. Actually, maybe Clio does win. I don't know. We'll see. I think this is probably a pretty interesting matchup, though, in the sense of, like, I don't know for a fact which one wins. Like, I don't think either one of these gods wins super hard, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. Freya does have a hard time dealing with assassins sometimes if she can't, like, if she can't track them and follow them very easily, and Clio's pretty hard to track and follow, so I guess we're about to find out, though. Horn Shard, Shell, and this thingy. Bow. Actually, I don't usually go... That kind of like just hit me. I don't usually go Transcendence anymore on this character. I usually just start Soul Eater, and I just don't go Trans. It's not that I think Transcendence is bad. It's just I feel like it's a little bit unnecessary. But actually, no, I'm okay with it. Because I'm probably going to go Pestilence this game against the Freya. Maybe not, I don't know. What I was thinking is the Transcendence will definitely help me with my mana and CDR. Since I'm not going Genjis, but I don't know, I might still go Genjis. Who cares, man? Whatever, dude. We're gonna win this game either way, right, guys? Smile. Smile. That wasn't like fast clear, but it wasn't slow clear either, you know what I'm saying? So we're feeling decent, we're feeling good. Hit her so we group up the minion wave, slash it up. Hopefully she can't contest this blue because Freya's clear is pretty bad in the early game. Pretty bad. I think my dash is going to obliterate this buff. Yes, it will indeed. I'm going to be maxing the dash this game, by the way. If you don't like that kind of playstyle and you don't want to do it, that's totally fine. But the reasoning for leveling the dash, or the reason why I level the dash, I should say. Oh. You know what? We'll just ult that. Why not, dude? I kind of just want to reset. Call it a day. And he's going to miss a minion or two. Is that one or two? I don't know. Either way, it's fine. I don't need to back here, to be honest with you. Honestly, it's a little bit unnecessary. I'm kind of just backing because I don't have that much mana and I want to be able to fight here. But I'm actually not guaranteed to have a fight. She might just back as well, in which case my back was a little bit pointless, right? So... Wait, I just realized that, Clio... Like, I mean, I knew this, but, like, I didn't really think about it in the sense of, like, going against a Freya. Clio ult blocks autos, right? So if she's just using her 2, I probably still get AoE'd, right? But if she's using her 2-1 and I hide behind my ult, it can actually body block quite a few autos. Kind of like, the matchup with, you know, Holder, aka Scotty. Oh. I don't really know if I want to fight this per se, but I definitely don't want to only run away either. A little bit tricky here trying to kill her. She does still have her ult, right? And she does still have her shell, right? So... Oof. Nice, okay. I was gonna say that was a mission failed moment because I was trying to bait her shell. I was not trying to kill her. I was just trying to bait the shell. And I was like, dang, I didn't get the shell. You know, that sucks, right? But it turns out we got the ult, which is worse because the ult's on a lower cooldown, but still cool. Also a little bit of tech right there if you guys didn't know. I didn't really do much with it, but Clio actually damages herself when she goes into the wall. I'm sure you guys probably know that. But what you may or may not know about it is since she damaged herself... Oh my god, stop talking, please. Since she damaged herself, that means that she then damaged a god. And since you damaged a god, the enemy minions aggro onto you. Apparently the minions don't care if it's you, if you're damaging yourself or your ally god. They just care if you damage gods, apparently. And when you damage yourself, they get mad, so... Bro, I just got a text message from my mom. I just looked over. It's very, very weird. Okay, there we go. I just got a text from my mom telling me to pick up super glue, which is really weird because like I don't really know why she would say that to me. And then she texted me back and said, never mind, like that was that wasn't for me, that was for somebody else. I was like, why would she want me to bring her super glue? So yeah, that's why I wasn't talking for like a second there. What an interesting moment. Alright, she does have a Bankruptus. We're not exactly... Is her... I wonder if her ult's still down. Nope. I was not paying attention to how much time has went by, so... Also, I do apologize. Like, I really hope that the Clio sounds in this video, because I have muted them in previous ones. I really hope that the sounds aren't too loud for you guys. I have no way of knowing besides, like, recording the video. I don't know. I don't know, because it's weird, but... And what I'm trying to say is, like, I hope that Clio's screaming and the ult noises aren't too loud. I mean, like, maybe hopefully it doesn't ruin the video kind of thing. Or no, not HUD editor. Maybe I just turn it down a smidge. Like, not a lot, just a little bit. Like, we turn it down to 32 or something. Call it a day there. So I want to say that we're double stacking right now, so our build's not that strong. Honestly, it's not that strong. We don't do that much damage. And then I start hitting her, and I realize we do a lot of damage. Basically is what I'm trying to say. Ugh. Alright, that was literally the most butchered Clio clear I've ever seen, to be honest with you. But anyways, we do good damage because... LOL. We do good damage because she doesn't have any defense, and she's a mage after all, so. Although Freya is a battle mage, which if you didn't know, battle mage is like what Zhong is. It's like what I'm not sure if Issa is or not, I don't remember. But it's what Freya is, and it's probably what Oleron is. And so what is it? It just means that they, generally speaking, not all of them, but generally speaking, they tend to have higher movement speed than other mages. And they tend to have higher base defense scaling and base HP and stuff like that. Like Oleron and Freya. The one I'm most confident about is the Freya. She's a little bit beefier than other mages, and she's definitely faster than other mages. Because, you know, she's got to get in there. So, while she doesn't have any defense, she is still not the squishiest mage in the world, but still a mage nonetheless. Like, but for example, though, if you wanted to compare Freya and how tanky she is to, like, Poseidon, or Agni, yeah, you guys should do that. That'd be a fun little, like, thing for you guys to do, is just look at base stats on the god thing, and make sure you level them up to level 20. Like, on the god builder, you can look at base stats, and you can level them to level 20. Look at the HP difference between, and hopefully I'm not just utterly wrong about this. I'm pretty confident that I'm right. But look at the HP difference of the HP scaling and defense and stuff in the end game. Or even like look at the level 3 too. That's like an interesting test too. Look at like Agni, Poseidon, and Freya. Compare those 3 gods at level 3. And then compare those gods at level 20 and like see the differences. Because Poseidon and Agni, while they may not be the literal squishiest god in the game, I don't spend my entire day looking at stats, but I can confidently tell you guys that they are some of the squishiest gods in the game, like Agni and Poseidon. At least in HP. Not entirely sure about their defense, but at least in HP pools, they don't have a great pool. Why am I still talking about this? Like, that just hit me. Oh, I know why I'm talking about it, because nothing else is happening on the screen. We finally have our defense now, though, so we can play a little bit more aggro. And we've got our Transcendence stacked. We still... Ooh, what the heck? I kind of want to try to get my blink off on him here if I can. Okay. I think I blinked a little early and I couldn't 2 immediately. That or I just didn't press it. I don't know. But either way, that was kind of awkward. I basically just blink auto'd her. I was really scared that she was going to banish me. And I still might be able to get the kill after the banish. It's just, it's a little bit more of a sticky situation. Be right back. We got a kill, man. We did it. Do I want the Hydras? Let's think our build out here. Nah, no Hydras. We're gonna go serrated. Like, okay, the full DPS build, meaning no anti-heal, because that's not DPS efficient in comparison. I'm not saying we won't go anti-heal. I'm just saying, theoretically, if I didn't want anti-heal, my build would be serrated, Crusher, Heartseeker. Now, obviously, if I want a Brawlers, I'm going to have to get rid of Crusher or Heartseeker. Probably. So, but we might not need anti-heal, to be honest. It kind of depends on how this game plays out. It depends how, if we're like one-shotting her or not. It depends, like, you know, we have to like actually see, like sometimes it's, you know, keyword being sometimes, because this isn't always the case. Sometimes I feel like it's less important how much they can heal, you know, like potential healing, and it's more important how much they are healing. You may be wondering, well, what's the difference? Well, just because a person, a player, can heal a lot, doesn't mean that they're good enough to abuse it, or that you're not doing enough damage to just simply one-shot them to where they are healing. So sometimes you gotta evaluate that and make sure you got your priorities in place, where it's like, don't just look at how much they can heal. Like, that's a smart mindset. You want to think about what they can do. That's smart. But that shouldn't be your only calculation. You should be looking about what they're actually doing, because what they can do and what they are doing can be two very different things. All right, so here we are. We have a red pot and a red buff. And so that being said, this bull demon is now gone. Yeah, there's nothing he can do, man. Nothing he can do. I mean, don't get me wrong, we played that pretty well, but it's just like, and he didn't play it perfectly, but it's like, even if he does play that perfectly, like, what really are his options? And I'm not saying Freya can't win against the Clio. I'm just saying, how does Freya win under these circumstances? You know, being this far behind, having her tower down, bull demons down, she's against a red buff, a red pot, like, it's already too far gone, is what I'm saying. I am by no means, because I haven't played this matchup enough. Oh, and there's the horrific. That's going to be really good for her, actually. That's one of the ways Freya probably can win this matchup. I'm by no means trying to say that Freya just automatically loses this matchup. I'm just saying, under these circumstances, you know, given the fact that she's given me the lead, and given the fact that I have this red pot and this red buff and all that, yeah, there's nothing she could do there. But of course, if she had a bit of a different start, I mean, but by this point, it's kind of just, I mean, I have 2k gold in hand, so I'm not like full powered up, and I'm about to lose this red buff, but still looks pretty rough for her. I'm just going to front door this Titan a bit. I'm not going to full commit to it. I just want to poke it. Because honestly, that's what you should do as Clio. You know, if you see it as scummy or what, you know, good for you. But like, that's what Clio does. Like, if you're playing Clio, that's what you should do, in my opinion. It's just one of those things. But I wasn't full committing to it because, well, for one, I don't really think I can full commit to it off the first, like, maybe if I had my Crusher and my red buff still. But right there, I was mainly just poking it because it does one of two things. Like, one, that's what you should do, you know? But also because it's going to make her more scared. She's going to think I'm going to keep doing that. Maybe I will, who knows? But she's going to be more scared. Like, right now, she's pushing out of her base. I'm going to start pre-casting this so I can silence her. Oh, GG. GG, my man. Dude, Clio's kind of a monster, I won't lie. Like, I'm not, by no means do I think this character is like broken and like can't be stopped in duel, because there's actually plenty of matchups that I've played against a Clio and just won super hard because it was just such a free matchup for me. And I've also had matches where like I'm playing Clio and I lose pretty hard. So she's definitely not like broken, you know, or anything like that. But what I will say is when she gets ahead, man, it's really hard to stop her. from just snowballing. That was only a 13-minute game, so I think I will probably just queue it up again. I don't know, like that was a pretty fast one. We kind of just stomped it really hard. So I'm gonna queue up again and put you guys into the next game. I hope you guys are enjoying the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright guys, here we are into the second game. This guy looks to be above level 160, which is nice. If you guys are wondering, by the way, I think a lot of people know about this, but for those who don't, yeah, I think we'll just double stack this game again. You can tell what level they are by the little frame. I don't know every single level, you know, like every single color, what level that is, but I do know when it's like a super sparkly, bright color like that, like a bright diamond or whatever. That means they're level 160 plus. It's the same one I have, right? So that's basically how I know. I know most people know that, but there's got to be at least one person who didn't know that the sparklies mean that. We'll start this, and we'll go mid this game. I could have went mid last game too, to be honest. I kind of just wanted like the best early game relic I could do, because I was somewhat sure I could beat that Freya late game, because I probably just snowballed it early pretty hard, and that's what ended up happening. This game, I'm confident I can win the late game and the early game, so I've decided to just kind of go with the relic I prefer. The relic I prefer, which is Med. I think Med Clio is very good, because I think the only way she can really die late game, besides just getting absolutely one shot, is use your abilities a little bit incorrectly, and then they kill you before you can get a second set of abilities back up. So if you just use your abilities and pop Med, you know, it kind of goes hard. She also just has very good abilities. Like, they all do very good damage, and they all have very good effects. Like, the 3 is a dash, of course. The 2 is a stealth, essentially, in Duel, because there's only one god, so you just stealth against that god. The 1 is a silence. It does a lot of damage. Like, she just has good abilities as well, so they do a lot of damage and have pretty decent control over what's happening. Can we get these minis? Let's find out. I have the med for a little bit of mana. Although med does not give you as much as it used to, man. Med gives you enough, like, for what I'm realizing on most gods, med gives you enough mana for like 1 or 2 abilities, maybe 3 at the most. Which is fine, you know. No one's saying it's gotta be 1,000,000 mana, but just don't overestimate it, thinking it's gonna get you back to half mana or something like that. Also, make sure you guys are popping med, like, unless you just really feel like you need to, make sure you guys are popping med at the lowest point of your mana. Because, I'll read it here just to make sure, but it still gives you, like, yeah, long story short, it gives you more health and more mana, depending on, like, depending on if you're low or not. The lower health you are, the more health you get. The lower mana you are, the more mana you get. It's just that simple, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that simple, baby. Alright, he's got the Chronos Pendant. Now he's going to be pretty annoying, but we're going to be pretty annoying too. Alright, so I meant to hit the archers with that dash, obviously. Alright, so we're leaving. And I'll mention this at the end of the video, probably, like I usually do when I build items and stuff. Oh my god, stop talking, please. Like, Smite, please just enable something that makes it to where your god doesn't speak anymore, or at least on your end, like on your client. Like, I don't care if the enemies hear it or something, whatever, but like, dude, just please. I don't even know what I was saying anymore. I got so distracted. I don't know why it bothers me so much. Like, I don't normally notice the voices that much being that loud because I have music playing usually, but I don't have music playing right now, obviously, so I just notice it and it throws me off, man, because I have ADD and I'm an idiot. Blame it on my ADD, baby. Dude, I could have been a singer. Nah, I'm just kidding, guys. I was such a bad singer and such a bad, like, band guy / didn't want to be in band that I got put in a class called General Music. There was 3 options: band, choir, general music. General music was for all the bad kids, like all the glue sniffers and the troublemakers, the degenerates. That's where I went. I was a music generaler. I'm not gonna be able to out-secure him, man. If he was really smart, he would just go straight to my blue and steal that, because he's not gonna be able to contest this probably. I say probably because what if he just throws up an ability over the wall and gets it? But he should go straight to my blue. He did not. Oh, what the? I did not mean to go. I did not mean to go in that wall. I feel like I went in there so fast. Like, am I stupid? Either I wasn't paying any attention at all and just didn't realize that my character was doing that, or she just went into that wall super fast. Either way.
Be right back.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Oh, I can feel the energy coursing through my circuits. You will be silent.
You will be silent. I'm just talking to myself at this point, man. I probably could have picked up that blue buff, but I'm not really sweating it. I already have one. Yes, if I pick it up, it refreshes it, but it's really just not that deep. I have a Transcendence. Like, the cooldown's nice, but it's not that deep, man. At least I get Soul Eater stacks off these Tiamat minions. I forget, do abilities hit these guys? Okay, they do, nice. At least it looked like it did. I can never remember because, you know, we got like Bastet cats and people like that that can't be hit by abilities. Oh, I just remember what I was saying. So you don't have to go this like super beta early game build. It's just I treat Clio the same way I treat Bastet, which I don't play Bastet very much, by the way. But if I did play Bastet, I imagine I'd probably double stack in most of my games, just because I just see her as like a safe, both of those gods. I see them as safe characters that can get away with, one, get away with double stacking really easily, and two, they just use double stacking very well because they both have some sort of healing in their kit, and you know, which is amplified by Soul Eater, right? Or I should say amplified, but is in addition to the Soul Eater, I suppose. But also because they just do a lot of damage. Like, this build has a lot of power in it, and since those two assassins have really good scaling, I don't know, it just kind of works out perfectly. They have healing, they have great scaling, and they're very safe in the early game. You don't have to take fights. But what I was getting at is you can go like a first item Soul Eater and then go straight into damage, or you can go just Jotuns first if you really wanted to, or you can go Transcendence, no Soul Eater. I'm just saying you have options that if you would prefer to fight more early game and not scale as much and be broken in the late, and you want to just get active early, you know, you're just that kind of player, and by all means go for it. This is just my preference. I like to chill a bit in the early game, and it works out for the video too, because it might make for a little bit of a longer video, although that didn't work for the first one. I have to make this a two-parter. I'd say if we had a stacked Soul Eater there, we'd be winning that fight pretty hard. But we don't, so we're more or less stalemating. He's running out of mana, though, is one thing that I'm noticing. Oh, I didn't even have an animation for my 2 there. Just kind of chucked it out, man. That was pretty risky on my part. He almost got that blue. For some reason, I thought he wouldn't have enough mana, but like looking at his build, I mean, that's a lot of mana at MP5. So it's kind of weird for me to assume he wouldn't have enough mana there. But no harm, no foul. Works out. I could pick up that blue, but like, I just don't care, man. I just don't care. The only reason I even mention it is because there's half the time there's somebody that comments something like, "Why didn't you pick up the blue there?" There's literally no reason. Because I don't want it. Why? Because I don't want it. That blue is for cowards, okay? I don't blame him for trying to go for a play there. I was really low HP. There's very little risk there involved for him, so
ruler must appear composed.
makes sense to me. Look at this. There's an argument to be made that like Crusher would be better before Serrated, but I don't know, maybe not. I just really value the attack speed from Crusher, but Serrated has a lot of power and it has more pen and it gives you more lifesteal, which kind of just helps you even more with your Soul Leader and stuff. Like, I don't know. And movement speed is just always going to be a great stat forever and always, so while I think Crusher here would be viable, Serrated is most definitely better. I'll be honest, guys, at this point, I would just like to have a stacked Soul Eater, man. Like, holy. One of the very obvious flaws of this build is it takes a little while to get online. But it makes your late game really good. So. And like I said, like, while I am technically complaining about having a bad early game right now, and I'm technically getting abused a little bit, I'm not actually getting abused. Like, look at the gold. I'm 300 gold up, and I haven't even cleared this wave yet. So, like, look at the gold. I'm 500 gold up, and I'm a level ahead. So I'm not exactly being abused. I'm just not abusing her as much as I could be. Alright, that was a pretty greedy back, I won't lie. Especially because she's been on the reds in all the previous engagements, I probably just gave it up there. Is it that big of a deal? No, but like at the same time, there's pretty much no real reason for me to do that, so. You gotta admit when there's a misplay, man, and that was most definitely a misplay. Oh, by the way, I should mention one thing, because I mentioned this on stream the other day, and apparently a lot of people don't know about this, so I'm going to say it, especially considering I have like a full power build here, and it really affects me because of that. Tiamat's minions, the little Drake guys, not the Minotaur, not the Cyclone thingy or whatever that thing's called, only the little Drakes, they actually reduce your damage dealt. Alright, this was really greedy by him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Not really much to analyze there. He kind of just jumped over and died. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the Drakes. I'll show you guys the debuff in a second when it pops up. But the Drakes remove your, or reduce your damage by like 25% when they hit you. If you didn't know. So if you may be thinking like, dang, this Tiamat's tanky at some points or whatever. Not to say Tiamat isn't tanky, because that god does get a little bit of mitigations when she's in ground form. But it's not just that. Like if I have Drakes hitting me, or they just hit me and I just killed them kind of thing, and I have that debuff, it also the Drakes also just make her tankier because they reduce your damage, you know. So keep that in mind. Oh, I can show you guys here. So look at this. Reduced damage dealt. And it doesn't say how much, but I'll tell you guys right now. It's either 20 or 25%. I don't remember which one, but it's a good healthy amount. That's for sure. Look at all these freaking dudes, man. I don't think it stacks or anything crazy like that, but... Alright, this is a perfect back. We can back him by Crusher and 2 wards. Which we want for the Bull Demon. Also, this little bit of attack speed, I didn't even think about it, but this little bit of attack speed might help a little bit. It's like a small detail, but it might help a little bit in killing these Drakes faster. Which is really nice. Tooth and Claw. There is a possibility. Okay, no. She saw me go to Bull Demon, so her best play was to get the red buff, which I agree with. Smart play on this guy's part, actually. I mean, he wasn't being very aware of his surroundings, unfortunately. And he didn't turn behind him. So what I'm saying is going for that red there was a good play, but he should have been paying more attention. I think he saw me going to Bull Demon and was like, I can't contest the Bull Demon. There's nothing I can do about that. So I'll just give up the Bull Demon and at least get the red, which should give me more farm and give me a buff to fight him and hopefully defend my Phoenix. It was a good thought process. It really was, but GG. If you wonder why he surrendered, it's because the game pretty much was over at that point. I was going to get the Phoenix, and then I probably would have had another ult up by now if I didn't already. I'm not even sure if I double ulted him there or not. But Clio has very good Titan ending potential. So even if I didn't end, I would have gotten the Phoenix there with the dual orb. I would have killed the Phoenix, and then I would have poked the Titan to at least like 70-60%. And then by that point, I can very easily just walk in and end the game. Even easier if I went double defense, which I probably wouldn't have done because I don't need to. I'm just letting you guys know that is one strategy you can use. Like when the Titan's really low and you're really confident you have the damage to kill it, your only concern is whether you die or not. Hey man, just buy double defense and then run it down and kill the Titan. It is what it is, right? I don't really know what else to say about this besides my last item would have been Heartseeker. I already mentioned it earlier about the brawlers. And like I said, you don't have to do this build. Like for example, you don't have to make the choice. Where is she? Not that it really matters what god I'm doing, but you don't have to make the choice of like whether you want the 40% pin build or if you want the brawlers if you don't go double stacks. So then you have to look like, do you want Transcendence and then the 5 items, or do you want Soul Eater and then the 5 items? And I will say, Transcendence makes Heartseeker hit really hard, like much harder, but Soul Eater is just such a nice quality of life thing. I would say the safest build, like if you're someone who doesn't do as well in the early game, you tend to get behind, maybe don't make great decisions in the early game. I'd say the safest Clio build. I'm not going to go over the build that I do and stuff because I already showed you guys that. It would have been Heartseeker last item or Brawlers, depending on what I need. I already showed that. I'll show you guys a more consistent build that you can do, and it might make you do a little bit less damage, but it's certainly going to be safer and faster. I would say you definitely go Soul Eater for sure. And so for your defense, you could go Berserkers on her, like it would be fine, but I'm gonna be honest, she's an ability-based assassin and her abilities are very good. I don't really see a reason why you would do that. You could if you wanted to for fun, but I don't really see why you would. Because also if you're not going Transcendence, you might have a little bit of mana issues as well. So this Soul Eater into Breastplate feels very good. If you don't feel like you need defense immediately, you could just as easily just go Soul Eater straight into like a Serrated. Then you got double lifesteal, and maybe you don't need defense, you just have a bunch of damage and you heal a lot. That's also very, very viable. But I'm going to put the most consistent build I find here and give it to you guys. Because like I know a lot of you guys not necessarily are bad duelers per se, maybe some of you guys, but I think a lot of you guys just have a hard time, mostly in the early game, honestly. I think a lot of you guys probably struggle with that. I think the average player struggles with the early game a lot. So I'm going to give you the most consistent early game build. And then you go boom, boom. Let me think this out, make sure I'm not putting anything weird on here. Boom, boom. And then by this point is when you would go the Brawlers if you needed it. So boom. If you didn't need the Brawlers, then we would just go the Crusher here. And then, we're look down here at the 4-item build. We're skipping the Brawlers here because you don't need it in this hypothetical, right? And then you would get the Heartseeker. Boom. And then you're at like this weird spot where, of course, if you can buy Brawlers, this build's perfect. But if you don't need Brawlers, but I will say most of the time you're going to need Brawlers because most of the time people have healing. So this will be your build most of the time. With the exception of the order, you probably go like that. Or if they don't have that, their healing doesn't come on until a little bit later, you could go this order. This order works perfectly fine as well. It's up to you. But then we get into the sticky situation where if you have this build and you're like, well, what do I build now? Because they don't have any healing. That's when it's like, well, you should have the Transcendence. That's when you really want the Transcendence. Some other options would be you could just go Deathbringer crit, although it's a little bit weird because she doesn't she doesn't weave that many autos. She does weave some autos for sure. It depends on the matchup, really, I think. Oh, an honorable mention I'll throw in here is Hydras. You can go Hydras in this build. Like, for example, if you wanted to just completely forgo this entire order, right? And say you're 100% certain that they're not going to have healing, 100% certain that you don't need Brawlers, but you, for whatever reason, don't want to go Transcendence, then just do this. You go Soul Eater, Breastplate, Hydras, Serrated, boom, boom, just like that. perfect build. Hydra's is a great item on her. I think it is an amazing item on her. But just like Camazotz, I feel the same way to a certain degree. You don't need it. Like, you don't have to build Hydras every game. It's just if you want it. Do you want the Hydras? And like, is the Hydras going to be replacing a valuable item that you may need? And the main reason why you don't need Hydras as much on those two gods is because I'd say like 50% of the time, if not more, they're not even autoing. They're just kind of casting abilities and walking away and kiting a bit and more or less poking, you know, with abilities, which is where the item procs from like Crusher and Heartseeker come in hand, and they're really important, right? But that's not to say, because I know there's a lot of Hydras fans out there. Hydras is a great item. It's a great item. It's just make sure it's not replacing something better. And also, you know, some gods, while they do utilize Hydras just fine, Camazotz and Clio use it just fine, you don't always need it. You know, sometimes there are better options. Up to you, really. Also in this build, I will mention, it was something you guys might have noticed, and this just right here, this is part of why I don't like the Hydras, although I will say it's fine. You're overcapping on pen. You have 50% pen with this build. And that's part of the reason why I don't do it as much. But if this build looks interesting to you, if you prefer it this way, or maybe, you know, going back to this order, if this build looks good to you and you like this build, honestly, bro, don't worry about the overcapping on pen. You're going to do 1,000,000 damage regardless. Don't worry about it, really. Truthfully, don't. The only other options I could think of that, you know, instead of overcapping pen, you could go dominance, you know, but like I said, we don't auto attack that much, but, you know, use your best discretion on the game you're currently playing. If you're getting a lot of autos off, then go for it, I guess. You know, not my preference, but whatever. Could go a crit item if you wanted. Could go, let's see. You could go a Frostbound maybe against certain hunters. You slow their attack speed and their movement speed. I don't know. You know, those are some honorable mentions, but I would say this is, you know, this is a pretty good build. But more so this build. You go these three, boom, boom. This is going to be like your most consistent build. And then of course, don't forget, because I know I've been rambling on for like 3 minutes straight now. Don't forget, this isn't the build I go. I like to go Transcendence personally. But this is the safest build, and it's very good. I've ran this build plenty of times, and I like it a lot, and it's very fun, very safe. You get into the action a lot earlier. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy watching the video, or well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. I was going to say, you know, drop a like down below, blah, 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 but I don't think I'm at that stage of the YouTuber life just yet. I just appreciate you guys clicking on the videos. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.